On Tuesday, the 4th of March, 2025, it's coffee time with Peter Gomez on 92.1 on FM. Online, you'll find us at www.wcr.gm. We're also on YouTube now, courtesy of Ja Oil.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Ja Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Ja Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Ja Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Ja Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
Let's talk now to the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Professor Pierre Gomez, who was in the news last week for the millions of dollars he disbursed to more than 24 TVET institutions around the country. But before that event, which was presided over, as you probably know, by the President, Professor Gomez had been on a working visit to Nigeria. Prof, good morning, and
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the disbursement of monies for skills, innovation, and I believe entrepreneurship education.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Why the focus on that?
Well, some 2 years ago, His Excellency President Adama Barrow called us for a meeting, and together with the Minister of Finance and the World Bank, and he asked us to come up with an alternative for the youths who are having some challenges, and to be able to address at least the two phenomena, the rural-urban migration and the irregular migration, commonly known the back way. And higher education responded to come up with a proposal on SIE fund, Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And together with Minister of Finance, we went to Washington and engaged the World Bank on these issues. That for us, as a country, we think that there's need to change the way we do things. We cannot be running after issues, dealing with consequences, and not dealing with the causes, the root causes for that matter.
Reactive, so to speak, rather than being proactive.
We need to be very proactive. Therefore, we need to change our ways of doing things. And the best way to do things is to now engage the youth.
Okay.
Have a system of containment, as I normally call it, where we come up with different strategies, and the SIE fund is one of them.
Well, the overall strategy is to promote TVET education in the Gambia.
Exactly.
But these 25 or so, there are 25 institutions?
Yeah, 25 TVET institutions.
So how are they going to use the money? What are they expected to do with the money?
As you know, this is the World Bank. Funded project. So there's a manual that was developed through a consultant, identified the bank, and there's a criteria. There will be M&E and
monitoring and
yes.
evaluation.
Yes. So they will also, for instance, students will be, each student identified from each of the institutions who were given this award under the second window of on scholarships and stipend is to get $400, and from that $400 for them to be able to pay their tuition, and also use part of it for their stipend. So if ever there's need for that, those who are also in the provinces...
Is this $400 monthly or yearly?
No, we're going to give them, that is for one yearly sort of for each of them, because the objective is to pay for the tuition fees. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean the 400.
Yes, yes.
Is it $400 for 12 months or every month $400?
No, 12 months. Oh. Yes. That is for...
That may not sound like a lot of money.
Yes, but because it is taking care of their tuition fees. So, we mean the whole year you are not going to think of paying your tuition fees. That one. And for some of them, they will even have a balance on that. And we are saying that from that balance, they can pay for their accommodation in the dormitories. Because for,
accommodation? How cheap is accommodation in those dormitories then?
It's very, very cheap.
Because how much?
The government.
How much per month?
The government institutions, just some is 250, some 300. Because government, maybe this is not known to many people.
Because you people are not talking about it.
Yes. But we, through MRC Holland Foundation and Brighter Future, our strategy is all our TVET centers in the provinces must have dormitories.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and for instance, you go to Mansakonko, for instance, about dormitories in Mansakonko is far better than some of your 4-star hotels here in Gambia.
Definitely better than my home then. And, you're saying in principle, nobody pays more than $250 rent per month.
Yeah, 200. It depends on some of them. Some is 250, some is 300.
So Mansakonko would be 300 then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, around
since Mansakonko is that presidential. Yeah. Maybe the next time the president goes on tour, he'll put up at one of the...
It depends on the how to call it, the different dormitories. Because they are not the same level and so on. So some will have, some is 250, some is 300, some is even 500.
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on...
okay, so these monies are grants that have been given to the TVET institutions, and it's for them to identify deserving students in their institution.
Exactly. So what happened is we sent a team that went around from Banjul to Basse to inspect some of these TVET centers who applied, because this was advertised. It was in the papers. Everybody, some of these TVET centers applied, and then now a team went around now to assess, to see whether what they put on paper in their application is exactly what is found on the ground. So in essence, even though there are some challenges with some of them, so we had to close our eyes for some, because this is the first time we are doing it, at least to ensure we maximally support.
When you say close your eyes, you compromised, on certain areas.
Yes, because they do not get it all 100%. Okay. So, but then the objective is to support them, especially the students here. So we decided, as the team, after the evaluation, you have 3 layers, 3 different committees. So all these different committees later approved the request, and then now these 25 are the one now being given the opportunity. Then this is for the scholarships. So there will be another phase again, still on scholarships and stipend, okay? Because we are disbursing just one part of it. Then there's another window. Very soon, the coming weeks, which we're going to now advertise. This one now is to support the centers themselves for, some renovations, for instance. Minor, not big ones to build story buildings. No. Just to do some minor renovations and also to review their curriculum to respond to the needs and aspirations of the industry. so that you train people who are employable. Okay, not to train somebody who will later come to Peter Gomez and wait for Peter to train him again. Why did he go to these TVET centers? So that's what we will give them funds so that they can now adjust their curriculum so that it is more functional. Then also we give them that money also will serve as funds for the equipment. Teaching and learning equipment. So that's the essence. But so it means that one, the second one that we're going to launch very soon, this one will not be for the students, but the centers themselves, the institutions themselves, to equip them. Okay, but because Balangan and Nam never,
absolutely,
so you cannot give what you don't have. So there will be a third window that is now the students. We come back to the students. We started with the students, we'll end with the students. So this time now, the students who are now being trained in these TVET centers, are they thinking about tomorrow? Are they thinking about the job market? Are they coming up with their own business plan? Are they trying to be another Peter Gomez, creating their own radio station and, have their own business here and there? So now these are the people that we're going to support, these startups. Okay, is supported. But they must demonstrate that right from the TVET centers. So that when they go out now, they will start their business. So we will give them some support to really start that business. So that is what this SIE fund is all about: skills, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Accompanying the youths, giving them alternatives in their own backyards to now take charge of their development trajectory, and so that independence can make sense.
What about young people who are not, in TVET education? I'll tell you why I ask. Last Friday, I had a young man here, Ibrahim Abba, and we were talking about his experience having taken the back way and been sent back. I mean, deportee, right, if you like. But he's picked himself up, has even gone to polish up his speaking skills, public speaking skills at the Forbes Academy. He now has what he describes as corner shop, boutiquinar, and he is really, really, giving it his all, because he has a vision. He says he wants to be an importer. I mean, in the trade sector. People like that. I mean, he's invested, hard-earned funds and is really building up, his business profile. What kind of support can they get from the state? I mean, you have what, $396 million for this SIE fund?
Yes. Yeah, we'll first we want to thank Ibrahim for coming out and explain his story, that when he came back, he refused to bow, he refused to be defeated, and he buckled up and went to the academy and, try to change his life and so on. So it is a positive story. We also want to encourage him to really see how he can fit within one of the TVET centers so that he can also get from it. Because this is a World Bank, project.
So he has to enroll in one of the,
we cannot,
the 25 institutions.
It's more than 25.
Yeah, but 25 have this, support. They have this.
But when the second phase is not going to be only these 25. It will be open to other TVET centers, but they must be recognized by NACA, National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority. This is what is captured in the manual, the World Bank manual. So we don't have room to go outside that book. So we will encourage him to be part of one of these TVET centers and be able to, his dossier to be presented by the centers, because it's not individual students who come forward. It's the centers who will present their dossiers. So the TVET centers who will present their dossiers. So it's very competitive. And, in fact, the next one, we're going to, there will be an additional criteria, where things will be tougher than this one. So I want to encourage him to join one of these TVET centers and be part of it. And based on what he has demonstrated, there's a possibility if the center submits a very good dossier, really like the others, they will be part of those who are going to receive this. Because the objective is, at the end of the day, to respond to the backway syndrome. We've seen the Mediterranean Sea being an open cemetery. What can we do? We cannot continue saying come back or stay and so on. We want people to have skills, and we are not stopping anybody from going to Europe. What we are saying is when you go with skill sets, then Europe will be the one begging you to stay. Because, Brother Peter, you know how, your second country, Germany. Well,
you see, which has now become your adopted country.
You see, they have skill gaps in some of these areas. So they would want people to come, but people who have the skill set, but not those who have, who
will become liabilities
and so on and so forth, depending on the social system for support and so on. So this is what we are talking about, and the SIA fund is here really to galvanize, to support the youths so that they can also understand that there is no country that develops without their own people, especially the youths, and that must have the necessary skill sets. That's what all developed countries did. So Gambia cannot be an exception, and that's the reason why we want to go back to the fundamentals by giving them this opportunity, getting the TVET education, hands-on education, so that we can now change the narratives.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jar Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jar Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jar Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
Why was it important to have the president actually preside at this ceremony? Is it because of the size of the grant from the World Bank?
Well, it was first, yes, you can put it that way, the size, because this is unprecedented. It never happened in the history of this country since 1965. You see, that type of amount, and then also my ministry has never given that type of, even a quarter of that amouth as stipend. Well, since 1965,
you have virtually zero in the national budget.
Yeah, so that's also giving the support. And the other thing also is it started with him. He was the one who gave us the marching orders. He was the one who gave us the opportunity to now buckle up and then engage the World Bank. And I can tell you it was not easy when we went to Washington. And thank God the Minister of Finance and his team were very, very supportive. They understood right from the go that this is the way forward. And they explained, because the bank was not doing these things before. And then we argued that this is the way forward. we've seen the other activities, the other functions, the other systems that were put in place before, but we know where we are now. So I think if there were good solutions, we would have seen the results. Okay. So we need to test something different. And that's why we insisted on this, as directed by His Excellency President Barrow. And thank God, today here we are. And the good thing is it's a motivating factor having His Excellency President Barrow to come and support us in this regard. And because with this, he's going to give us other directives and and support us also for other funding, and to be able to now serve the youths of this country. Okay. Because every day when we wake up, how can we be useful to this country using our own sector, higher education? We are paid by taxpayers' money. What are we giving back to this nation? And you and I celebrated 6 years of independence. What is there that will warrant for us to jubilate everywhere and say, yes, here we are, we've done it. 60 years along the way. What have we done with what was handed over to us? I'm a disciple of Edward Small. I taught this thing to my students all along, and so on. And some of them kept on reminding me, what are you doing? What would you tell Small if you were to come? What have you done with his legacy? And as you know, Small died penniless, without wife, without children. But then he had the opportunity to enjoy like anybody else. He was around Lane Street, and so when he died, his house wasn't even conducive for the funeral. They have to move it to the junction between Dobson Street and I think Clarkson Street. That's where they had the funeral and all that. He is the one who went to Balangar and other places to help the farmers, among others, and so on. So some of us now to be in the new Gambia, free Gambia, so we need to think about that legacy and give back. And some of us now are state ministers. We need to put something on the table. And that's what we are doing with the support of Cabinet and His Excellency President Adama Barrow.
Before the Friday event, you were in Nigeria. Higher Education Minister concludes a week-long working visit to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A press release issued by your ministry stated. Tell us about the Nigeria trip and what was achieved.
Well, it was a very good one. As you know, we've transformed Gambia College into University of Education, the Gambia. So it's going to be exclusively on education.
So it's going to be called USEG?
Yeah, no, UEG.
UEG. Oh, okay.
UEG. You have UTG,
yes,
University of the Gambia, but now you have UEG.
UEG.
University of Education, the Gambia.
Okay.
So, because, we are moving the School of Agriculture into the University of the Gambia School of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. We moved Gambia College School of Nursing and School of Public Health into the University of the Gambia School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, and the college will be left with only the School of Education. And then we now move the UTG School of Education into the Gambia College, now form the UEG, University of Education, the Gambia. We have only one education basket, as opposed to two right now. You don't have enough, and you are you are having two baskets, let me put it that way. So we want to really ensure that we focus on one thing and do it well. And to do that, transforming the institution is not just changing the name. It demands a lot. Even the personnel, you need to transform them. You need to capacitize them. That's why we sent some of them, just 3 months ago, we sent 10 of them to Nigeria, to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, for their PhDs, fully funded by the Gambia government, and all of them getting stipend of $850 per month. Oh. So we are Gambia government paying that, and we taking care of also their tuition fees, and also everything is taken care of by the Gambia government. We are doing the same thing in the coming months. We're going to do the same thing for the University of Civil Service, formerly MDI. But we've done also the same thing for the University of the Gambia. A good number of them, 7 to 10 of them, also in Nigeria.
So it's not correct that the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology was overlooked in the national budget. The fact is, I mean, you get a lot of money, only it is not coming from the national budget, but that does not leave you bereft of funds.
Yeah, no. What we do is we are using other partners. Okay, we are using other partners, different partners. We are using the World Bank. We are using EU. We are using Turkey. We are using China.
Germany.
Germany. We are yet to
TVET.
receive from them.
Oh, okay.
We are still engaging them. But then also we are using MRC Holland Foundation and Brighter Future. Some of our TVET centers in the provinces are being built by MRC Holland Foundation at zero cost to the Gambia government. So we are engaging them. In other words, we are invoking Plan B. We know that we don't have it in our budget, so we cannot continue. We know that. Everybody knows that. We don't have enough for the budget, but we need to think outside the box. So, and that's what we are doing. So now, coming back to your question, we're going to Nigeria, is to now engage the Nigerian government. You know, the last time they gave us 18 professors for USET, University of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology, 14 professors in engineering. That is unprecedented. We never had that. 18 professors in engineering at once. You know, so it was a bit difficult for me to go back again and engage the Nigerian government to ask for more. But because of the situations, and the good thing is they are following. So I decided I wanted to just ask for 2 or 3. But surprisingly, they told us that they are following what is happening in Banjul, the development, the transformation process. They are reading whatever is coming out from Banjul, and they are going to give us 5. 5 seasoned professors who will come now to this new University of Education and help. They're all going to be professors in education and in the sciences to be able to come and help the transformation process, the University of Education, the Gambia. So that's what we want to really use the opportunity to thank the Nigerian government for their support and unflinching support for that matter. And also had the opportunity to have a working sessions with ECOWAS, and they promised us 2 things. They're going to identify the consultant to help us really work on our STI policy. It's has elapsed.
What's STI?
Science, Technology, and Innovation policy. So they're going to help us develop that one. And then also they're going to help us with some funds to be able to support our youths, once again in TVET, you know, for the internships. So it's going to be paid internships, so that our students will have practical experience in the industry, because that's what is important. Yeah. And during that time, they will be paid, and the funds will be provided by ECOWAS. So that's what we discussed with them. And in the silence of our meetings out there, we met also TITA, a company, IT company that will be coming to Banjul in April, end of April, so that we do the launching, because they have a mobile we have to call it driven by AI to help, produce timetables. So within 1 or 2 minutes, you are done with the timetable. No longer having to do it manually, somebody sitting down to be doing the timetable here and there and so on. And the good thing is it will help minimize. For instance, you do have situations where if you do manually and so on and so forth, where you allocate a class to a particular group, but they will go there, they are supposed to, they are 100, but then the class size is just maybe 30. So it's a wasted time, resources. Then you can have also the opposite. So, but whereas if it's AI, it knows already, if with this mobile driven system, it will, using AI, it would have incorporated that data and knows that this particular group cannot go to this classroom because this classroom is too small for them. So it will take them straight to the right classroom so that it will accommodate everybody, and it will be very fast.
I'm sure everybody would embrace the fact that I would applaud the fact that higher education is embracing technology. But then you speak about data. Do we know how all this data is used by some of these partners you'll be working with?
Well, we will be working, by the way, we will be working with the Ministry of Digital Economy. So their technical arm will be there also to help us in that regard.
That's a colleague we need to bring on the program. Huh?
It's a very good one, very sound, by the way. So, Honorable Javi, I can tell you, if you have him, please give him ample time to explain what he has.
We'll bring him on a Tuesday.
He's very, very, very sound, I can tell you. And he knows his area.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. We'll get him on the program. We'll get him on the program before the expiry of Ramadan. Yes. Privacy of Gambian data.
Yes. So as I said, we will. This is also some of the issues that we're going to work on. But the good thing is also, once this is done, it will be domiciled. The institutions will take ownership because they will have access to the source code. Because that's the main issue. And once you have the source code, now you can change and do whatever. So then you'll be able to now be in charge of the whole system. But we will do it together with the ministry. We'll invite them so that they will also take part in the whole exercise, because that's the technical arm of the ministry when it comes to anything that is digital, IT related. So they will be there also to protect government's interests, and as usual.
I'll just read you a message before I ask you for maybe, as we say in the business, last word. Good morning, sir. Please, Professor, please tell Professor that we are grateful for him and his achievements. We also do need a technical assistant to boost our institution, the President's International Award Training Center. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes, this is something that they made that request, and the Minister of Youth, they fall under the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Bakari Baji.
Yes, and the minister, when the team from Abuja came, the Director General of NTAC, Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, came here. We invited the Ministry of Youth and Sports and to work with them. And in fact, interestingly, whilst I was in Abuja, I did remind the DG, and they are willing to support, and I will be having working sessions with Honorable Baji so that he will make a follow-up on this issue, because Abuja is willing to support them. Yeah.
Good morning, Peter. I'm following your interview, as always. I'm following your interview, as always, with Professor with much interest. He has excelled a lot. Thank you. Final message, if any?
Well, we thank you really for the opportunity, and we also want to tell the general public, especially the youths, for them to embrace TVET, and because TVET is the way forward. We're getting loans and in millions of dollars, but they are going out. I know last time I came here, when I talk about it, somebody accused me of xenophobia, but it's not like, as I said, I'm not being xenophobic. Here I am.
Look at what Trump is doing in America.
Yeah, so,
making America great again.
There's no country that develops without their own citizens. That's the only thing I'm saying. Here I am going to Nigeria to get people to come and help us. So, and what I'm saying is for us now to get our own people getting the skill sets. So when we get these loans in millions of dollars, our own people will be the one now giving the contracts, and the money stays in this country. That's what I'm saying. And if not, we will be complaining, we will be having problems, and it will still be there. Remember, it's now 60 years. 60 years, and we are still there, not having the right personnel. Look at these roads. All of them. The engineers, the laborers are non-Gambians. Go to the University of the Gambia, Faraba Banta campus. You will be surprised, Uncle Peter, to know that. I'm not talking about the engineers. That one is a foregone conclusion that you don't have Gambians there. But this just the laborers. Over 95% of the laborers there are non-Gambians, from the sub-region. So where are our people?
Come out, our people.
So and remember, this is going close to $100 million when we are done. Over $100 million.
At least 50% of that amount will
imagine if this was
out of the country.
If this was in the hands of Gambians.
Yeah.
Imagine you and I indirectly will benefit because the banks, the money will be in our banks, and the social malaise, will reduce because everybody will be busy. Everybody is able to get something and feed themselves. Not what is happening sometimes to say, I'm depending on Uncle Peter.
And remittances.
And remittances and so on and so forth. Yeah. That's the only thing I'm saying. Yeah,
which is what is driving the backway syndrome.
Therefore, we're saying, let's now equip ourselves. Let's get the skill sets. That's why we are coming up with these TVET centers and also trying to support them. With these stipend and scholarships and all that. Let them make good use of that. If you go to some of the TVET centers, so the accommodation, some of them are free. Go to Ndemba, in Mansa Conco, as I stated earlier on. You see the state-of-the-art, dormitories that we have there. So
so conditions are good, facilities are good. Yes. Take advantage is the message to Gambian youth.
And thank you very much, Uncle Peter, Prof. And thank the entire cabinet for their support. My brothers and sisters in cabinet are very, very supportive, I can tell you. And also, obviously, His Excellency President Adama Barrow with the unflinching support that he's giving to higher education. Because, in fact, he has something in the pipeline, and that one is for another day, the appropriate time. We will share it with the Gambian people.
I have literally to push you out of the studio because your colleague and friend, Dr. Ismail Assise, you worked with him at the UTG before, has made a point of insisting that Aji sends me this note to say that he is sitting and waiting. In other words, push this professor out of the studio, and I'll do that very
No. Let me go and allow Honorable Dr. Ismail Assise to come, and he's the mouthpiece of the government. He'll be able to explain better things and more interesting things than I do.
Absolutely. Prof, thank you once again for coming on Tuesday, the 4th of March, 2025. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, brought to you on YouTube in association with Ja Oil.